reason we are here today, members of the jury, is greed. Greed is what led the defendant, Miss Zilius, to make a safe and peaceful construction site into a dangerous and haphazard work site. All in the pursuit of an extra bonus from the city, she cut the time for the safety checks, made the construction site active from 24 hours a day, or active 24 hours a day, ignored warnings and common sense. And finally, on August 31st, 2012, she ordered a crane to lift a roofing panel that was 150 tons over the crane's limit in winds up to 30 miles per hour. This final act of utter disregard was the straw that broke the camel's back. The crane, unable to handle the load, crashed down on top of two civilians, killing both of them. May it please the court, Your Honor, and members of the jury. My name is Michael O'Leary. The defendant now stands trial for murder of both Artie Dent and Grace Hopper, the two unfortunate souls who died on August 31st because of her reckless headfirst charge towards money. In this case, we will show that the defendant is guilty of third-degree murder because she ignored multiple warnings and concerns from many different people concerning her dangerous work site, and especially concerning her decision to lift the panels in the oncoming storm. She also ignored the expert on the crane when he expressed worries about the lift conditions. We will call Emerson Turkin, the site supervisor for the construction site, and he will tell us how the defendant was offered a bonus amount of money if she could get the project completely done by October. He will also tell us about how he warned the defendant multiple times about the conditions of the site and about the crane lifting. He will also show us the two weather reports that he showed the defendant in order to back up his claim that the lift should be postponed. The defendant, of course, ignored him. We will also call on London Packard to tell us about how she saw the construction go from bad to worse under the defendant's orders. London will talk about how she saw workers being injured daily at the site, and how on August 31st, she saw the defendant order the crane to lift. She saw the defendant order the crane to lift the panels, even though London could tell the crane shouldn't lift in the wind conditions. The defense, however, is going to tell you that one of the mentally ill homeless people living on the site caused the downfall of the crane. They will point out that he drew graffiti on the site and called for violence against the workers. They will also point out that he talked about killing himself on the construction site, but they will ignore the fact that he talked about the enemy satellites trying to find them and setting up a meeting with the Secretary of the United Nations, because they don't want you to know that the things he said were just empty promises. They will instead theorize that he caused the crane to collapse. This is just a theory, and a weak one at that. For example, when a young child doesn't get their way, they could throw temper tantrums and promises for violence against the person not giving them what they want. But that doesn't mean that they will do it, and even if they do want to hurt that person, they usually can't. The defense's entire case rests on the theory that Artie Dent caused the crane to collapse, and that is just ridiculous. On the other hand, at the end of this case, we will show that because the defendant chased the bonus from the city, she recklessly caused deaths of both Artie Dent and Grace Hopper. Therefore, at the end of this case, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania urges you to give the verdict of guilty. That's it.
Just to